Rejoice in your sufferings, because sufferings produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 through 4. I'll get back to that in a second. But first, I want to talk about where I came from. I came from a very close Catholic family. I've always been extremely close with both of my parents and my brother. And I even went to Catholic school from preschool all the way to 8th grade. And coming from a small Catholic school like that to a huge public high school like this, that wasn't the easiest transition for me. But what helped was playing volleyball. I've been a volleyball player ever since I was in 4th grade. I've always been known as a volleyball player. And playing volleyball, being a fall sport, your first friends are your teammates, and the first faculty that you meet are your coaches. And I immediately felt at home here. I connected with the girls on the team and the coaches, and I knew I was going to be okay here at this big, public, scary high school. But that was a little bit short-lived. Freshman year, I was taken away from my friends because I was the only freshman to be put on varsity. That was great for my volleyball career, but girls being girls, there was a lot of drama with that. And with that being said, we all played as individuals that year. And once I got the starting spot, it was crazy. Then sophomore year came, and we got a little bit better. We started playing more as a team, but our record still wasn't there. We were one game away from making playoffs. And then junior year came, and a miracle happened. We went undefeated section and Whitfield champs, and our only loss that year was the semifinals of states. And then again, my senior year, the same thing happened. Undefeated section and Whitfield champs, and our only loss was the semifinals of states against the same team. Now I stand here today as a senior, and time completely flew by, which is cliche to say, but it's true. But there were some times through my 4 years of high school that weren't always the easiest for me. After school season, my sophomore year, I was trying out for club volleyball, and being an athlete, you always have pains, more than the typical person, but this pain in my foot was different. It was extremely painful, and it wouldn't go away. So after countless doctor's appointments and tests, I was finally diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, February of my sophomore year. And when the doctor told me, I remember looking at my mom and just bursting into tears. I didn't understand why a healthy 15-year-old who had this huge dream of playing college volleyball and having a big life would be given this horrible disease. And so I got on some medications, but the medications are only for the pain. It never is going to stop arthritis. It's never going to go away. So I've been on medication ever since my sophomore year, and it was great. I was able to play volleyball my junior year, and that was my prime. I was named all section, all Whitfield, and I was even blessed to be on the all-state team for volleyball. And I was so excited for my future. I was so excited for college volleyball and making a difference on a college team. And then the summer before my senior year came, and that was the darkest time of my life. I've had arthritis in my foot since sophomore year, but just recently, the summer before my senior year, I got it in a new joint in my knees. And typically, whenever you get a new joint inflammation, you switch medications. So I went from taking a pill a day to taking 2 pills in the morning and 2 pills at night and giving a shot to myself in the leg once a week. I could deal with the medication, I could deal with the pain, but I couldn't deal with the mental strain that arthritis puts on you. I've been a volleyball player since 4th grade, and for the first time this summer, I was not a volleyball player. I was not able to play volleyball because of the transition from the different medications. The doctor told me I am not allowed to do physical activity for 3 whole months, my senior year. And that alone will put a toll on you, but for volleyball being a fall sport, it was my time to shine. I was a senior, I was a starter, I was all-state last year, and I was sitting the bench. There would be times where I would sit at home and just cry and cry and cry because I was missing my life. Volleyball has been my life, and I wasn't a volleyball player anymore. I was just a kid with arthritis that sat at home. And whenever I got the courage to go to practice, I would see my best friends on the court having so much fun and being able to play, and I was shagging, or I was sitting there keeping score. And I went from being one of the most obnoxious players on the court having fun at practice to sitting there. And there would be times where I would say to my mom, you know, I can't go to practice today because I know I am going to break down if I see a volleyball. And so that time of my life, I drifted away from how I was raised. I drifted away from being this close-knit family. I would hide in my room all the time. I wouldn't talk to my family. I drifted away from being a volleyball player, and I drifted away from the most important thing, which is God. And I decided that I was going to give my arthritis to God. I was going to give it to him, and whatever he wanted to do with it, he could do with it. And that's when I found this verse. I had a suffering that I still have to this day. And I gave it to God, and he gave me perseverance and character and hope after I gave it to him. And that's the whole point of life. So my challenge to all of you is, every single one of you is going to have your version of arthritis. Every one of you is going to have some sort of suffering. And if you just give it to God, he will give you everything you could ever hope for in the end. Always never drift from God, because he is what got you here today. Thank you.